age-old discussion of euthanasia, the right to die. When is it right? When is it wrong? In the medical field, I think this has been going on for quite some time anyway, because the more an individual, because you can have your own self-release pain pumps at your disposal, and you can pump yourself with diamorphine if you wish to do so, more than the required amount of dosage, so slowly leading you down that garden path anyway. But some people are not in that position to do that, and others have to make a decision on the individual, close family member, a distant family member, a close family friend, etc. I found it quite difficult with my dog, Benjamin, a few months ago, to have him put down. It's a very difficult decision to make over something that you love, but there's obviously a religious element in this discussion. I don't think that should take place. It comes down to the particular people and what they believe, because at the end of the day, we are not all Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, etc. So therefore, we will have different belief systems, or not in some cases. So that's how I would perceive euthanasia. I think it can be the right time to die if a person is severely, possibly on the verges of brain dead anyway. I think the family solicitor, a doctor, should all meet together and discuss this and approve or not, if the case may be, that this action takes place. So I think that's probably a good thing to do and sensible. Again, it probably comes down to money, time, etc. But obviously sometimes you don't have a choice. If it's a severe accident, you have to make a decision sooner rather than later. But I've also had, I've been quite lucky really. My grandfather and I were very close, and on a Monday night he said goodbye, and then the next morning he passed away in his sleep. No suffering. I mean, if you wanted to go, or a family member to go, that's the best way to go. Just peacefully, no suffering, like I just said. But my best friend, grandfather, who they were very close, he saw him go downhill, didn't know where he was, didn't know who the family were, so he had lost that recognition in his part of the brain, which was obviously dying, and a body full of cancers as it was, just see him deteriorate quite dramatically. Some strangers sort of, washing him, and his dignity completely went out the window. You can imagine what it's like if you've been there, or you're going through it at the moment. And my sympathy goes out to you. But it is so difficult. I would take religion out of that element straight away. That it shouldn't. It's not about religion. It's about what is best for the individual that is suffering. And I would, and hopefully in a lot of cases, looking at it from a professional point of view, I would recommend, like I mentioned earlier, the family, solicitor, etc., getting together and discussing the best case for this individual. And it kind of takes out of families' hands as well to make that very, very difficult decision to make. And I had that decision to make with my dog, and that was hard enough. But we don't want to see our loved ones suffering as well, so we have to weigh up the pros and cons. Very, very difficult subject. Love to hear your thoughts as usual. But whatever it is, even if it is constructive criticism, and you don't, you are my friends on here, but you don't agree with me, that's fine. We all have our views. A little bit like abortion. A couple of you people that are my friends had slightly different opinions than myself. But that, hey, we all have our own opinions. That's cool. But I personally think it's a very difficult subject to discuss. But in a national health service, like I said, you have your own pumps at hand that you can inject your own die of morphine, and you are slowly going down that path anyway, and it's been around for quite some time, and that's all they do anyway, is pump your body full of these painkillers, and it slowly stops things from functioning, and you end up in the obvious state. Anyway, please feel free to comment. Thanks for watching. Loz.
Currently, she doesn't wish to be helped to end her life, but would like the option to be available. She leads a new group of doctors, nurses, and other health professionals seeking a change in the law.
There have been various surveys, and depending what the question is, but certainly there's a majority of people who feel that there should be a change in the law on assisted dying, and I think there have been various cases. The whole issue of going to Switzerland and Dignitas have brought many of these things to the fore.
In 2008, the death of paralysed rugby player Daniel James from Worcester was assisted at the Swiss clinic. No charges were brought against his parents. This and the case of Debbie Purdy, who was told that compassion and motive would be at the centre of any decision to prosecute, have led campaigners to believe that the time is right for a change in UK law. Those who oppose assisted suicide say it's a complex and emotive issue.
I think the public really should be better informed. I think they're being frightened by what it's like to die, and frightened that, this is the only option being offered to them. I think people need to know that they will be well cared for and supported as with their relatives. And I think if we offer that, people won't come forward.
Dr. Macpherson believes that the British Medical Association and the Royal College of Physicians are out of touch with public opinion, which believes that assisted suicide with clear safeguards is the correct and compassionate way ahead. David Crabtree, Sky News, Oxford.